Now, the fact that you've clicked on this video, I reckon means that you have never driven an electric van before. Now, probably what you do know is that electric vans can save you money, that electric vehicles create zero emissions while driving, so it reduces air pollution, that electric vehicles have less moving parts to go wrong. But probably what you and other prospective buyers don't realise is that electric vans are incredibly easy to drive. Quite good fun as well. First off, I'm going to start with the bits that you can't see. So there's no gearbox underneath the bonnet doing a million and one things. There is no gear stick for you to fiddle with. There's no clutch for you to get a tired left leg when you're stuck in traffic. What it does have is this, gear selector, basically, so you can go forwards or backwards. Or if you're not doing either of those things, you just put it into park and it locks the wheels.
Like an automatic, there are two pedals, accelerator and brake. The one that delivers the most entertainment, of course, is the one on the right, unless you are a little bit odd.
Now, unlike petrol or diesel vans, electric vans deliver full power as soon as you put your foot on the accelerator, which makes it feel quite perky. It's also very handy, especially if you're facing up a hill or you're pulling out of a junction. You'll also find that electric vans feel more secure to drive. That's because the battery is placed underneath the load space, so has a good low centre of gravity.
This makes them feel way faster and more fun than their power output suggest. If your first experience of an electric van is driving away from a dealer forecourt, maybe just take it easy, okay?
I mean, if you just want to get from A to B, that's all you need to know. It couldn't be any more easier. But there is some funky tricks up its sleeve. So in some vehicles, you'll get a B button here. Now what that does is it triggers what's called regenerative braking. So while you're driving and you take your foot off the accelerator, it will feel like the vehicle is slowing down a lot quicker, which also means that you're going to use the brakes less and you're going to put more energy back into the battery, which is good for your range. This vehicle doesn't have that. What it does have are these flappy paddles here, and it's got different levels of regenerative braking, which is much better. So you can either have it slow down a little bit or slow down a lot, and in the long run, saves you money.
Now you're only going to notice this when you're driving and you lift off the accelerator, so you will feel that the ë-Berlingo van seems to slow down a bit faster, a bit like changing down a gear in a petrol or a diesel. And what you'll notice is you're going to use the brake pedal far less than you would before. The big benefit is that it's actually saving energy too, which means that you don't have to plug in as often and you're going to spend less on electricity.
Right, I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's really not. So as soon as you slow down, the electric motor performs a bit of a party trick. So instead of putting power from the battery into the wheels, the power goes from the wheels into the battery and you get more range. Feels quite weird at first, but it ends up becoming really satisfying watching energy going back into the battery. It becomes quite addictive.
When you start the car, it will be normal. This gives a good balance between performance and efficiency, and will be the mode that you'll be using most of the time for your everyday driving.
But you may want to change that occasionally though, so you can use this eco setting. So what that does is maximize the battery power by reducing the electric motor's power output and by limiting the heating and the air conditioning as well. It's all very clever.
It might be useful if you're doing a longer journey and don't want to stop to charge, and it feels pretty quick enough, so it's not a real hardship. And if you need full power for overtaking, if you press the accelerator all the way down, the ë-Berlingo van temporarily unlocks full power to make sure that you can get your manoeuvre done safely. At the opposite end of the scale is power mode. This is for when you want to have a bit of fun, and it allows maximum electric engine power output. Lovely. It makes an electric van like this ë-Berlingo feel really perky. It does affect the efficiency though, so it's best to use it when you're not trying to stretch your range to the max.
And that, folks, is what an electric van is like to drive. It's basically easier than a conventional petrol or diesel version when you want it to be, but then it also has more advanced settings so it can be more efficient or just a bit more fun. See, I told you it was easy.